I'm so happy to be with you all today. My name is Kat Vellos, my pronouns are she, her, and I am just thrilled to be here with you. We are gathered here today, of course, in the honor of PEPS and in the honor of connection and community, which is, of course, what the focus of all my work is about. And as I looked around the room and saw it filling up today as you were all showing up, I know that there are many people in this room who feel that sense of connection already. When you look around the room and you see familiar faces and you see the friends from groups that you're in, you have that warm glow. You have that sense of connection. And there's probably also people in this room who would like some more connection, some more friendship, a deeper sense of bonding within the PEPS universe. And if I was your doctor, I would write you a prescription for more friendship, please. And I would give you, and you, and you, and you, and I would give everybody here a prescription for more and more friendship. There is no maximum dose, by the way. And the good thing about friendship is that in addition to there being no maximum dose, it's one of the best things that you can do for your health and well-being. Normally, when we hear the word health, we think of two things. We think of our physical health, and we think of our mental and emotional health. But there's actually more than that. There's 8 dimensions of health. You can take a guess in your mind right now at what they might be. The National Institutes of Health has defined these 8 dimensions of health and well-being. And my work is in that top slice over there called social health. And this is what I want to get you excited about today. I want you to join me as a geek for social health, because it's one of the best things that you can do, believe it or not, for your physical health, your mental health, and all these other dimensions as well. So as Dana mentioned earlier, you know, the cost of loneliness is great, and there's a loneliness epidemic, and it's kind of a drag, you know? It's like, it's why I do the work I do. And loneliness takes such a toll on our health and well-being. It leads to those anxiety, depression, higher blood pressure, shorter lifespans, all of that. And the flip side is that connection does all the opposite, right? It takes all those things and it turns them in reverse. In fact, the longest longitudinal study about human thriving, which is called the Harvard Study of Adult Development, started in 1938, and they wanted to answer the question of what leads humans to have long, healthy, happy lives. And so they followed their original participants, and since then, by the way, because it's been over 80 years, they've added in all the partners and children of those original study participants, and they looked at their lives for the entire rest of their life. And they looked at where they lived, where they worked, how much money they made, how much they exercised, what kind of food they ate. And they found that more than anything, the thing that led to long, healthy, happy lives were their social relationships. Believe it or not. It was the quality of their social relationships, not the quantity, because social health doesn't mean, oh, I'm popular and I'm really good at throwing parties. It means you are satisfied with the social relationships you have in your life. And the truth is there are many, many, many things you can do because we're all different. People are satisfied by different things. And there's so many things that you can do to cultivate your social health. This is a photo of me when I was writing my book, because I tend to get really excited about this, because I get excited about ideas, I get excited about all the things that we can do to cultivate social health. I'm like, we can do this, and we can do that, and we can do that. And no matter what challenge you're facing, there is not just one solution, but there's actually many, many solutions. Now, most of us, as we go through adulthood, we're busy, we're living our life, we're working, we're doing things. And so we sort of stick to the ABCs of friendship. We gotta make some friends, we gotta maintain them, right? And so we do this kind of stuff. We're making phone calls, texting, email, there's some Zoom, FaceTime, social media, all those things. If you're kind of like me, you also like to spice it up a little bit, throw in some voice memos, throw in a little snail mail. You're doing this stuff, right? Give me a thumbs up if you're doing at least one of these things. Yes, yes, this is good. This is the foundation. This is the bedrock of keeping our friendships, our relationships alive. And there's another level. It's the penthouse. There's only 2 levels, so it's the second level up, but we're gonna call it the penthouse. And on level 2, which I also call the crying with joy heart eyes emoji level, this is when we spice it up and we put in a little bit more effort, a little bit more creativity to see how we can deepen our friendships and deepen those relationships even more so that we don't take it for granted and people don't have to wonder if they matter to us. We make it known. And the lovely thing about this is that, as I said, there's so many things. I'm getting ready to shower you with a lot of examples. I hope you're in the mood for some inspiration. I did not bring the insurance presentation. I brought a lot of examples of this. As you hear these stories, I want you to feel encouraged, and I want you to feel like it's okay to use these ideas. It is okay to borrow them and to remix them. It is not cheating. You're not copying off someone else's paper. We actually need everybody to copy off everyone else's paper and do more of these things as well. Okay, so you ready? Pull up a chair. It's story time. Here we go. The first person I want to tell you about is, I'm going to call Angelica. I interviewed her for my book, and all the names are changed for privacy, but we'll call her Angelica. I interviewed her for my book, and one of the things I did in my research was I ran a study looking at a survey across America, and I said, tell me about how you're feeling about your friendships, how satisfied you are, what's working and not working. And like a lot of surveys, there's a bell curve, and there's most people in the middle kind of like grumbling. They're like, it's hard. Why is adult friendship so hard? Send help. Like, what should we do? And then in the end, there's these outliers. And Angelica was one of the outliers who, she was like, it's fantastic. I have no complaints. It's going wonderful. And I was like, Angelica, are you willing to tell me what you're doing? I would like to learn and see if there's something different that other people can learn from. She said, yeah, sure, let's talk about it. And what Angelica does that's very different than most people is that she doesn't artificially delay how long a span of time has to pass between when she meets someone and when she will see them again. Most of us, I hear some people laughing in the room. You're like, you know what that's about. So most people, when they meet someone, they say, oh, it was so nice to meet you. Yeah, we should get together again. When are you free? They'll take out their phone and they're looking at their calendar. They're like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks out. Angelica doesn't do that. She doesn't artificially delay. She will make herself available as soon as possible on purpose. And I said, well, why do you do it on purpose? And she says, I know that people have shiny object syndrome. She's like, I know that when things are new in someone's life, there's more magnetism for it. And so she's trying to get time with people while she is still new in their life. She's like, I'm new, I want them to say yes. So she'll be ready as soon as the next day. She's like, there's a lot of things I have to do this week. Do you want to do some of them together? I have to eat dinner every night. I have to go to the grocery store. On Saturday morning, I play tennis. Do you want to come with me? And she is making it very easy to get those yeses. She has a very high conversion rate from stranger to friend. And she's making it very, very easy to hold on to those new friendships. They don't fizzle out and fade away like a lot of new friendships do. And so the lesson from this, should you choose to hold on to it, I hope you will, is to make yes easy and to look for ways to share your regular life with your friends. Friendship doesn't have to live in an isolated slot in the calendar away from everything else like a meeting. It can actually just be woven into the fabric of your life. The next person I'd like to tell you about is we're going to call Piper. And Piper had a big work event coming up. She was going to be leading a panel for the very first time, and she told her friends about it. And one of her friends wanted to encourage her. And she could have done what I would consider a level 1 action. She could have sent a text message and said, hey, Piper, congratulations on leading the panel. I hope it goes great. Text me afterwards and let me know how it goes. That would have been a very sweet thing to do. What her friend did instead is she sent Piper a pair of Wonder Woman socks. And she said, you are a superstar. I want you to wear these socks and know that I am with you every step of the way. Now, if someone's love language is gifts, they're really going to be into something like this because it's a way to take our caring and to make it tangible. It's a way to show up and say, I'm thinking of you and I've sent you something to represent the care that I have and take it with you into that experience. I love the story. It's very sweet. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money, just a little bit creative. The third person I'd like to tell you about, we're going to call Jim. I interviewed Jim for my book as well. And Jim found himself in adulthood feeling something that a lot of folks feel, which is like wanted a group, wanted a group of friends. He's not a parent, so he doesn't have PEPS. But he was like, I want a group of guy friends. And he's like, what am I going to do? He got together with a group of guys, and they decided that since they all cared about personal development, talking about their careers, wanted to have that sense of connection, they said, let's talk every single month. Let's just meet once a month, we'll catch up. And they did this for over 10 years. And now that sense of brotherhood that he feels is unshakable because of the commitment that they made to each other to show up and check in about life and support each other. For now, it's like 14 years. And when they showed up at that first meeting in 2010, nobody said, hey, fellas, we need you to sign on the dotted line that you're going to promise to do this for the next 14 years. That's kind of intense. I don't recommend it. All they asked for was, let's take it 1 month at a time. And then let's keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up. And so the lesson from Jim's story is really about dedication and commitment, and how even just committing just 1 month at a time and continuing to do that can create something that's a little close to chosen family for Jim and his buddies here. The next person I'd like to tell you about, most of us, when we get invited to a Zoom meeting, there's not a lot of joy and delight that just like starts screaming. We're like, oh yes, another Zoom. Sometimes it's like, oh, how long am I gonna be there? What's gonna happen? Do I have to go? And one of my newsletter subscribers, who I'm gonna call Bill, sent me a message because during the pandemic, he was going to be having a family gathering on Zoom. And he got my Better Conversations calendar, the same one Patricia mentioned, actually. And he decided to take some of these questions, very similar to the ones you have on your table there, but a little bit reflection, because it was a closer group of people. He took it to the family Zoom, and he said, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. And during the call, his wife DM'd him and was like, oh my God, Bill, you're a hero. And he was very excited to email me and tell me about this, because he was like, you got me in really good with my wife, Kat. This is great. And what happened is that by simply having the courage to ask a familiar group of people unfamiliar questions, he was able to provoke a lot of learning and curiosity and delight, even in Zoom. And you can do this too. I've done this with friends. I've done this even with strangers. I used to host a gathering called Better Than Small Talk, where I'd get a group of strangers together and I would hang all these questions around the room. And the only rule was no small talk questions are allowed. So you can't ask where someone's from or what they do for work or anything like that. You can only ask these other questions that really provoke that sense of curiosity and delight and wonder. And the lovely thing about it is people would leave that gathering saying that some of them had had better conversations in those 2 hours than they had with people who were part of their regular life. And they said that they felt really cared about just by receiving someone else's curiosity. So by having the courage to share your curiosity with others and to listen really generously, you can let other people feel that way when they walk away from a conversation with you as well. All right, so our last but not least, our final story is from Marion. This is one of my favorite stories. I mean, really kind of all of them are my favorite story, but Marion is someone also that I interviewed for my book, and Marion is a retired grandmother. Her kids have all grown up, they've moved away, and her grandkids as well, went with the kids. And so they're all kind of scattered around the country, and she's retired, she's hanging out with her husband, he's great, but she feels a little bit lonely. I mean, he's all right. So she feels a little bit lonely, and she's like, I need some more people in my life. And what she got more specific than that, because you got to have sometimes specificity with a goal really helps. So she said, what I really want is I want the presence of other women who have children in her life. And she had heard that there was an app that lets you talk to your neighbors. And this app usually gets kind of a bad rap. It's called Nextdoor. There's a lot of racial profiling and complaining going on, but Marion was like, oh, I can use this to talk to all my neighbors? This is great, because I would like these friends, and I would like to be able to just walk to them. I don't want to have to drive 45 minutes. And so she got on the app, and she made a post that most people wouldn't make. She said, surrogate mom/grandma here for you. My kids are all grown up, they've moved away, I have a lot of grandma love to give. I would love to meet other women in the neighborhood who would like some of that in your life. Reach out to me, we'll have a coffee, see if we click, etc. Now there's a lot of reasons why somebody might say yes to this. It could be that their mom or grandma lives really far away also, just like her story. They just might not be emotionally close, or they might have passed away. There's a lot of reasons why. And so she got a lot of women who came in and said, yeah, we'd love to have coffee, let's meet and see if we click. And they did. And with the ones that there was that mutual connection, that mutual chemistry with, she decided to stick with them. And over time, she has turned neighbors, total strangers, into chosen family. On Nextdoor, believe it or not. So, so the lesson from Marion here is that vulnerability and really radical generosity can do that for you too. Now, I want you to notice how everybody in these stories were using the same exact tools as we use at level 1. So they used phone calls and texting and snail mail and Zooms and FaceTime and social media apps. But they were using those tools in really different ways. Did you catch that? Yeah. And I want you to know that you can do that too. And so by using the same tools in some little bit creative ways, little bit extra effort ways, you can develop those same skills that they were developing of the courage of saying yes easy, making yes easy, the curiosity and the creativity, the dedication, the vulnerability, all of those skills they were developing in the process. And when you do this, it's sort of like going to the gym. Now, when we're in the gym, which I hope you do. I mean, I'm trying to get there more often myself. But when we're in the gym, we are investing in developing our strength, our flexibility, and our muscles so that we can feel stronger and not get injured as easily and all of those things. But we don't only use our muscles in the gym when we're running the treadmill and doing the cardio and the yoga, right? You use those same exact muscles when you're loading your groceries and when you're picking up a baby and when you're moving furniture. Those muscles are available everywhere else in your life. And the same is true for your social health muscles. So when you work on developing those social health muscles in, say, one friendship, those same skills, those same muscles are available in every other relationship in your life. All of your other friendships, your coworkers, your relatives, et cetera, and also the new people that are on their way into your life as well. I want you to imagine right now that this room is a big jar. That's the lid. This room is a big jar, and it's filled with community. There's community you might already feel, and there's also potential community of new people and new friends that are coming into your life. Take a look around the room and see those faces. Like, give somebody a smile, give somebody a wave. Like, see them as a part of this big jar that you're all in together, filled with PEPS community. I hope that as you move forward today, that you continue to think of PEPS as this place that is this big jar of community that you're all in and that you're all co-creating together. I really do wish that there was a PEPS in every single neighborhood in America, because every single person deserves to have access to a room full, like hundreds of people who say yes to community, hundreds of people who say yes to connection very intentionally in this same way. And when you invest in PEPS, whether you decide to continue donating or to be a group leader, which I really hope you'll do, you are not only improving your life, but you're improving the life of every other single person who is in this big jar of community with you. So please turn to a neighbor and give them a high five or an elbow bump or a fist bump or something. Be like, yes, because you care about connection, and you care about connection, and you care about community, and you care about PEPS too. And yes, this is like the best sports team ever. Yes, so thank you, thank you, thank you. When you do this to build connection and to build community, you're improving your life, and you're improving life for everybody else around you. And it is a lot more fun when you do it together. So thank you very much. It is so wonderful to be here.